I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fischel. The podcast, once again, is presented by the Hammer Betting Network, so check them out. We had a fun card. I would say that was a fun card. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Main card was finishes all over the place. Some exciting fights, some weirdness. I think it had everything you want. New Shaun?
Eight straight finishes to finish the card. That's always good.
And there was some on the early too.
Oh yeah. Even like the early. I think there was only 3. Tied a record for first round finishes. That's always fun. It's always a good night when good cards end up being fun cards, because you don't always get that.
Yeah, we've talked about the reverse a bunch, where you have a really bad card that it has a lot of finishes, and I know all of us kind of on the same page here of arguing that doesn't make it a good card. It can make it fun, but if fights have no meaning, a finish doesn't really matter. An exciting fight isn't anything that's gonna, make it amazing to me. But to your point, when you have a card on paper that looks amazing and then it delivers, it's as good as it gets. And I thought the product on Saturday was as good as it gets. And I don't even, was there any bad decisions or anything weird? Like, I don't even think there was anything awful to even talk about.
There was a very weird decision. They apparently got it right, but them changing the scorecards for the Carolina fight, like on camera and shit, people's like, this
the New York Commission.
Yeah, this looks real good after all the betting shit that's gone on here lately, Yeah.
I mean, have you ever tried to add 10, 10, and 9 without a calculator?
It's tough. It's a tough go.
Oh, how's the game going, Wes? Am I going to cover?
Is that jump ball? Who's
Am I going to cover? That's all that matters.
Oh, did you bet Michigan State?
I don't know, 6.5. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you're going to cover.
I mean, no OT land?
I took some money line in a parlay with a little Corey Anderson Friday night.
Of course. I do like Corey Anderson.
It sucks to go from getting plus 150 to now juice, but like
it's 200.
Him in a Kentucky money line parlay was just golden to me. I had to, if we hold on here, I guess we just got the ball. So 15 seconds left. They're gonna have to foul us.
Good. All right, let's go through the fights from Saturday night, and then we'll head over to the Fight Night card. And we were talking earlier in the week. This is kind of the last bad card, I would say, coming up. And there's some fun fights on this card. It's not the worst card I've ever seen. We've definitely had a lot worse in the last month. But the fight cards for December are fantastic. So we do have a lot of good stuff coming. But jumping into last week, looking at the prelims first. Pull it up. Starting the light heavyweight division, we had Carlos Ulberg just absolutely smashing Nikolai here. First round knockout. Pretty vicious one there. Then we had bantamweight division, Montel Jackson defeating Julio Arce. This was kind of the this was one or two bad fights. This is one of them. There was just nothing. There was nothing here.
Neither of them were
Montel
throwing.
Jackson's kind of an enigma. Yeah, not much there. Michael Trizano defeated Choi Sung Woo, knockout first round. I think was it Brad that was big on this? On the Korean fella? Someone liked him. I don't even know.
I can't remember. I know I talked about looking at the under and then passed like I'm a fucking idiot.
I like
Wes
Choi.
was all over that.
Yeah, I like Choi too. I think Brad did too. But yeah, love the under in this fight. It was like plus money, I think. Like that was madness.
Yeah, Trizano's a nut job, and like it was. I think what the UFC's been missing, and it's getting a little bit out there, is the hometown guys. Is guys fighting in front of their home crowd and big crowds, and we haven't seen as much because really they're fighting in 4 or 5 places. over the last 2 years, and you could just see some of these New York guys just kind of they like Matt Favela, Trezano. Some of these guys kind of came out, and there is something to that about fighting at home, fighting in front of these big crowds. And the UFC did announce that it looks like they're going away from the Apex next year, which is great. I think the Apex did its. It was weird to me they still went to the Apex. I started thinking like the economics of it, like maybe the UFC doesn't make a lot of money off fight nights, like there's not a good return there, because it doesn't make sense why everyone's been back for years, right? And UFC still did Apex all year.
Because it's cheaply made content. Like it doesn't matter. The ESPN deal is the ESPN deal. They're getting the money regardless. So you give up a little bit of ticket sales, but then you don't have to travel. You don't have to pay for hotels and all that shit.
You don't have to put on good fight cards because
you just
you're having them at the Apex and nobody's going.
That is true. And you'd have to think, like, if these fight night cards that they're doing, because I'll say this, to the point, maybe because they're not doing stuff in person, they're doing it at the Apex, so they're not putting fight night cards. I think that is the main reason why the cards have gotten worse. Because you look at these pay-per-view cards. Let's look at this card here. Look at even the prelims, right? Like the prelims are guys that could be, easily main card guys on fight night cards. And then you look at it, there's 3 main events on this card. There's 3 fight night main events that you could have done on this card. Like you telling me Mike Poirier versus Chandler couldn't headline an ESPN card, but they haven't been doing that because they don't care about ticket sales. But once they starting back into these markets, we're not going to have fight cards with insert random women's fight, or hell, love the guy, Black Beast versus Spivak as a main event. Like that is not a card that's going to have a fight night in person going to sell out. You need a Poirier Chandler. You need some kind of big fight. So it'd be interesting to see how it changes going into next year. Because for me, and I think all of us, we'll complain about cards, but I don't like an off weekend. And I know Wes is very on board with this. Like, we'd rather have shitty UFC cards than no cards. And I don't need a break. I don't need a week off. And what happens is fine. It's whatever. But, like, I'd rather have Rodriguez versus Lemos on a Saturday than no card. So I guess but we'll see how they move it around with pay-per-views, because the pay-per-views have been absolutely stacked, but I don't think they've really changed like pay-per-view buys because of it. I think the pay-per-view market is kind of set up where it's who are the top 2 fights. You know what I mean? Like having, Dan Hooker, Claudio Puelles in the pay-per-view or whatever, that's not going to bring it buys. So I think they do change that strategy next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll still get we'll still
hope.
Get some fight night cards at the
just hopefully less of them.
They'll be better.
Hopefully less.
I think they'll be better. And I think the Chandler Poirier is kind of a perfect example of where if they were trying to sell tickets to an event, they already had a main, they already had a co-main. Poirier Chandler on this one, that could have been moved to main event in a fight night card in insert city.
Yeah, that fight is maybe even pay-per-view main event level. That's a serious fight,
Just in general, I don't think if they're trying to sell tickets, they're going to put these top 3 fights on the same card. And we've been seeing that, like all these pay-per-views, where it's like the 3rd, 4th card down, it's like, holy, fight down.
They've been doing that for a few years now, to where, because we've complained about that, to where we get a stacked pay-per-view and then it's like shit for 3 months.
Yep. So. But it makes sense because they don't care about the fight night cards. To Shaun's point, they still get their money from ESPN. Viewership is not what they care about. They care about people buying ESPN Plus, which they're going to do if they want to buy the pay-per-view. So for them, it doesn't fucking matter if they're not selling tickets. Now they start selling tickets, then it matters. So I think going back and saying is better for fans.
What's wild is at this point now, they do sell quite a few tickets to the Apex for those cards, and they're apparently insane prices.
I know, but
it's not
like
it's not
people or whatever.
Yeah, it's not 18.
It's not the same as 10, 15,000.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. But they were getting their money for those cards. Like
they were probably paying for expenses with the Apex stuff. But there must be a reason where the return is not. They must have just been, maybe it's not because the return's bad on fight night cards. It's probably more so because they just wanted to see if stacking pay-per-views in the first couple years of this can boost up ESPN Plus subscriptions. And now the UFC is thinking, okay, let's go back to the business, because they make shit ton of money. You guys have been to those cards. A lot of seats, expensive to sit close. Concessions is expensive. Beer's expensive. Merchandise. Like, they make money on those Fight Night cards.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that Dana already said they're going back to that, I think is a good thing for us.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Anyway, Kolbakevich defeated Gomez. Who cares? Matt Frivola defeated Ottman. Azatar, I lost that one. I was way the fuck off. I didn't see Frivola fucking deading Ottman, but he did, man. And then he's calling out fucking Paddy Pimblett. Can random nobody stop fucking calling out Paddy Pimblett? If you get selected and win the
they
lottery,
know it's easy money.
They
just
know it's easy money, and they want to get paid a bit.
I think Paddy fucking sleeps Frivola.
I don't know, man.
I think Gordon's a much tougher fight than Frivola.
Regardless, the return on the investment is way higher if they do win those fights than fighting an Azatar.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
It is annoying, but that's what happens when you have shittier fighters that are high profile.
People are going to call them out. Sean O'Malley for a long time, still a little bit. It's Ottman. There's been so many guys that it's frustrating and annoying. Like, sorry, Matt Frivola, nobody cares. But overall thoughts on the early prelims? Anything to add there?
I don't think so. I think Alberg can be fun if you're gonna run at him, and if you don't, then it becomes boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say about Montel Jackson. Can this dude like throw some offense?
Neither of them are throwing though.
He just he looks like he should be fucking otherworldly if he would just fight.
If he can't take you down, it becomes boring.
Yeah, that was that
was.
And I'll say Trezano and Troy. Props to those dudes. Like, can we never talk about cutting Trezano? I don't care if he loses 5 in a row. Let that dude fight.
6 knockdowns in Trezano's last 2 fights.
Yeah, let that dude fight. I don't care.
Agreed. You need action, guys. All right, moving up to the next set of prelims. Middleweight, my boy Andre Petrosky defeated Wellington Turman. So a lot of guys doubt my boy again. This dude there's been some third round type guys. It's the same thing. This is rinse and repeat. You think he's gassed. You think he's going to lose. And then all of a sudden, he's 10 times fresher than his opponent in the third round. I understand level of competition and all that, but I think it's because he gets tired when he strikes. He gets tired when he's moving forward and striking. He doesn't seem tired at all when he's grappling, which is the reverse for most people, but it makes sense for wrestling. It's the muscles, how you do it. This guy's a third round fucking monster after gassing out after every 5 minutes, and his entries in his takedowns might be top 5 in the sport right now. His entries on takedowns. He sets them up well. He finishes well. You guys have probably heard me talking about this for 10 years. Why do we not see guys do high crotch takedowns more? Petrosky likes the high crotch. Respect it. I've been saying that for over 10 years. Why do we not see more high crotch entries? And Petrosky does that. Impressive.
Yeah, if you can't stuff his takedowns, you're going to be in a lot of trouble for basically at least 2 of the rounds. He might take the second off if he needs a bit of a breather, but like you said, he grinds through and he gets it done. At some point, he's going to fight somebody that has a little more takedown defense, and then he might get a little tired because he has to strike, and then people have a shot against him. But against these lower level guys, he does what he does.
I thought this was a pretty decent win. Like, it's still the turd, man, but he's not like some like total dumpster. Like, that was a decent win.
Yep.
Lance is right though. Like, there's not many dudes that's like got Petrosky's like sub pedigree. Like, he's ridiculous on the mat that can offensive fucking wrestle like that. That knows what he wants to do, can get a dude down. He's a problem, man. Shaun's right though. It's gonna come a time here real soon where a dude's got 15 minutes of cardio and it's gonna fucking light his ass up in the second round, and we're not gonna be seeing that third round Petrosky second win shit. I don't know. He's talked about it like Lance has too. We watched him since his tough season. He's talked about working on his cardio, man. Dudes that are built like Petrosky aren't built for fucking cardio. It's just never
every third round in the
UFC. I get it.
As long as he can get a takedown, because his cardio is not going to be there if it's on the feet.
That's gonna end soon. And dudes, there's gonna be dudes that are just less gassed than him in the third that can still scrap. Just guys like Petrosky, the way they're built and the way he fights just aren't built for 15 minutes of all out fucking shit, man. I don't know if he's ever gonna have that. It's fun though. That dude's awesome.
Embrace it. I always say, if you have bad cardio and you've worked on it and you can't get better, embrace it and just go fucking try to kill people. I think that's the way to do it.
Love the over in that fight. I wish I would have took the goes the distance, because I don't know. I thought Petrosky could get a later sub, and I guess he almost had a couple, man. He's ridiculous on the mat.
Yep. All right. Aaron Blanchfield defeated Molly McCann. I think, nothing to add here.
Best part of this fight was seeing Portnoy squirm.
Yeah.
$10,000 get drained out of his account. That was the best part, seeing his girl just get absolutely run over.
Big Cat and them were like cage side and shit, and just their girl gets absolutely.
I love some Big Cat though. Love some Big Cat.
Jesus Christ, this fucking.
All right, Ryan Spann defeated Reyes. I was wrong on this one. I think did you guys both have a pizza Spann?
I had Spann.
No, I had Reyes.
Reyes, man, I was. I think even betting Reyes, I think I knew this was a possibility. But man, he doesn't need to fight anymore.
No,
he just looks so lost. I don't think there's no need for him to fight anymore. So anyway, Moicano defeated Brad Riddell, sub first round. This was my favorite bet on the card. Tried to convince Brad Munich. He ditched our boy Moicano. Didn't go with it, but he looked fantastic. Equally, Riddell looked awful. He did say he's taking a step away. Some people said, his chin's gone. To me, it wasn't the chin. The chin was the end result. What was bad is he's scared to throw, and he's very slow now, and he looked bad. He looked real bad. So
yeah, that was the ghost of Brad Riddell, and that just might be who he is after kind of getting fucked up the last couple times out.
Yeah.
But Moicano's awesome to watch. Whether he's losing or winning, it's usually a fun time.
Yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
I think I said that night too. Like, he's still like early 30s. Like, he's fought.
He's just been in some wars.
He's made it to like those top 5 dudes a few times, and he just couldn't get over that hump. Like, he's still young, man. That dude is very, very skilled. Like, he's just tremendously skilled. We'll see. There's some tough fucking guys in that division, so we'll see. He'll get another chance though. Like, he's gonna fight top 5 dudes again. It's gonna happen.
Lightweight, going to the main card, lightweight division, Dan Hooker defeated Claudio Puelles, TKO body kick. I had the under here, and I was getting not happy for a minute, but we got there with the under with what looked like dive is the wrong term because it wasn't like a fix. He quit. That kick that landed, they're like, oh, the toes right. That shit barely fucking grazed him. He was like, I'm done with this shit. I don't want to fight anymore. And just an absolutely embarrassing performance.
Just horrible.
And Dan Hooker did not look good at all. Hooker did not look good.
Yeah, we might catch a good number on whoever he fights next.
We're going to.
Yeah, that was ugly to watch. I tweeted it out. I was like, unless these leg lock guys get you in the first couple minutes of a fight, it's fucking horrible to watch.
Yep.
He's butt scooting all over the place. Like,
that was extra. Like, there's been some guys that are flopping around and stuff like that. He was the worst. And just taking his sweet ass time getting up. Like, I wish they would have just ended it when he wasn't getting up.
I thought he was going to stop it.
It was close.
Our boy Magic said it though at some time this week after the fights. Like, we all saw, like, Puelles is horrible. Like, he's not good. Like, Dan Hooker's not great, but man, that I was on Hooker too, and some under. Like, that was a crazy line on Dan Hooker. Like, I don't know what people were seeing, and I guess they
Puelles could catch him. But I mean, Dan Hooker obviously has good leg lock defense. But like, there was a chance there. He got the leg once.
He was like,
sometimes.
The
look on Hooker's face is like, this dude's got no
and that just shows you the difference. Like, Dan Hooker is who he is right now, but like, there's just tiers of guys that have been in some shit and he just fights through it. Whereas guys below him, might do some stupid shit when a guy's got their leg and then get tapped out.
Yeah, it's different when a dude is a leg lock guy or a submission dude. Like, you got to worry a whole lot less about getting caught in one of those fucking legs. Like there's very few dudes that can just pull that off at will against anybody. This
Done it
dude
against
is
some shit guys.
yeah,
Well,
shit dudes.
It only works on low level guys. When was the last time you saw a super high level guy outside of when Poyeras was fucking juiced out of his mind, ripping people's limbs out of them? But like high level guys just are usually not going to get caught by that. So if anyone that's well trained is not. But all right, bantamweight division, Chris Gutierrez defeated Frankie Edgar, knockout first round. I almost played I was about to click on doesn't go the distance on this bet, and I knew that meant I was picking against Frankie Edgar dying. I could not hit the button. I couldn't do it. But I don't think there's much to add here. We can kind of speed through this one, but end of the era for Frankie. One of my all-time favorite fighters. Frankie was really probably my first favorite fighter. I love the guy. He's awesome. So happy for him to finally get out because it was well past due.
Yeah, just sadness. These old guys hang on too long, and they start getting flatlined by guys that would not even touch them at a good part of their career.
Yeah,
I like that. When we do podcasts, this is where I work. This is like my office, and I'll come in the morning, and there's just like beer cans on the floor when I'm coming in. When I get in here at like 7 to start working.
I will say about Frankie. I remember back when he first came, and I think what he accomplished early on at 155, when that dude was absolutely naturally a featherweight, was pretty incredible. For Frankie's an all-timer, man. He's a great, definitely one that hung on way too long, man. It took some. They just can't do it. It's sad to watch. I talked the other night too. It's been going on about 10 years now, I think, for me, maybe even a little bit longer, of watching dudes I've watched for so long. None of them have gone out great. Maybe George. That might be like the only dude. Come back, win a belt, and then say fuck it again, not take any bad. All of the other ones, I can't remember one that hasn't like not gotten just absolutely fucked up on their way out.
What about my dude Koscheck? He went out looking pretty good. He got knocked out by a bunch of random dudes. That was my least favorite of all the guys I liked.
Going to Bellator.
Gosh, then he goes to Bellator. Some dude without a Wikipedia page just murders him. Like, oh, you poor bastard. And then Rumble. Fucking Rumble. Oh, how horrible was that? And we still don't know what happened.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that.
Well, he's been sick, they said, for the a
Hodgkin's
year
lymphoma. Yeah, he ended up getting Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. They finally released the information. Yeah, he's been battling it for like a year or so.
Oh.
Damn.
I thought it was something with the weight cuts and all that shit, and just all the years of that bad shit, but now he ended up getting.
Yeah, but MMA guys still don't cut like if it was anything, it'd be from his wrestling days.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying
3 times a week.
It's been years and years of Rumble.
I mean, he was a 170er.
Yeah, I mean, he did it for so long. If there was a guy that started showing problems, at 40 of that shit, it would have been Rumble. But it's sad, man. I know. I'm gonna keep it fighting because I've done that for so long that I've tried to keep dudes' personal shit, because a lot of them are shit bags, and Rumble's got his shit too. But Rumble will go down as one of the most feared fucking knockout dudes that we've ever seen in MMA. Yep. Period.
And he's one of the there's for someone young, like someone I love as an athlete and love watching fight. Like, we're still young enough where we don't see a lot of our favorite athletes die. Like, we're still young, right?
Yeah.
So we don't see a lot of that. And there's only been a few that someone I've watched a ton, really like, that have passed away. And it is sad. And Rumble had a few of those incidents outside the cage. Who knows what happened to that? But the one thing about Rumble is he never bought into the MMA hate. And he never had fake animosity. And if you hear the stuff, and even before he passed away, he was loved by fighters. He didn't have any fake heat. He was always joking around. He was nice and all that.
Come in there and knock you out, and that's the game.
Yeah, and he was always respectful and all that. So that does suck. Hate to see it, but anyway, lightweight division: Dustin Poirier Michael Chandler. We do have to speed through these next couple real quick to get to the fights, but absolute banger of a fight. I thought that second round, I was like, this 190, it's there. It's looking mighty fine right now with Mike Chandler. Like, I don't know how Poirier survived those big punches in the first round. Chandler hits harder than maybe any lightweight I've ever seen. And he landed fucking clean on Dustin's chin. And Dustin's been in some wars and all that. Dustin fucking ate him. And then Chandler survives. And then what a crazy fucking fight. And it ends up being a grappling wrestling mistake that cost him. Double overtime?
Yep.
Fuck, that's how you lose.
At least your team total's gonna hit, right?
Yep.
Hey, Wes?
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anything to add on Poirier Chandler?
Wild fight. Just an awesome wild fight. I took Chandler round 1. We had the consensus of Chandler.
Close.
Yeah, there was a bunch of spots there where we thought we were gonna cash, and then just Chandler went full Chandler and made a dumb mistake and was tired and gave it up. Kind of don't feel bad. He was being pretty greasy in there. Some fish hooks. Some
If
fucking,
you ain't fish hooking, you ain't trying.
I'll,
spitting and snot or hitting
Well,
snot bubbles at him and shit like
that's
that.
I don't consider that any kind of dirty there, because that's happened for decades in fighting to where dudes.
That was a pretty blatant one though.
It
That
was
pretty
bad.
I don't care. We watch dudes.
ripping
We
his
watch
face.
dudes hold their cuts open over dudes' faces and drip down forever. I will say about Shaun, I bet him here too, and I thought we all cashed that so many times over. But he did an interview today talking about, you know, his wins and losses in the UFC in particular, and I think he's spot on. He's like, even when I lose, like I make people feel something when I fight.
Yeah.
And that is, if there's one dude, look at the guys he's fought since he come to the UFC.
It's
The
insane.
the who's who of all violence. What our boy Capoza says, the all violence weight fucking weight class in the sport. He's fought them all, and he's won some, he's lost some, but every single one of them, you're talking about that fight for weeks, for months, till his next fight.
Yeah.
That dude is insane. He is
He-
absolutely insane.
Without winning a belt, he did more with his time in the UFC to this point than I could have ever imagined. Because we all watched a lot of Bellator. We saw all his fights, and Chandler had some exciting fights. And they said in the broadcast, he's always been this exciting. Like, Chandler had a run where he was not excited.
Nah, he used to
like
wrestle
that.
a lot.
A lot. But like, he didn't take any shortcuts. He fought the toughest guys at all time. He took every fight, and then he went to fucking war. And he will be remembered for that. I don't know how many fights Chandler's got. He's getting up there. He's what, 36? Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't look washed. Like, the same things that get him in trouble now are what got him in trouble way back when, like with the cardio and just, going too quick. But that's what makes him fun. So
Right.
I thoroughly enjoy Michael Chandler, and fucking Dustin Poirier is a bad motherfucker. There's nothing else.
Imagine adding like Gagey and Chandler to the roster like back to back in those couple years when those two dudes came over. That
Amazing.
And they are probably the two most exciting fighters in the division and maybe in the sport,
Yep.
I'm in the minority here, but I don't want any good guys in other orgs. Call me crazy, right? Like, I watch Bellator, I watch PFL. I'm fine with PFL as the washed up thing. I'll still watch it. It's fun to watch.
Then they should pay him. Then they should pay him. Like, if you fight.
Yeah, and like, I'll watch Bellator. I'll watch Corey Anderson, whatever. It's great. I don't want to see like fucking McKee in Bellator. I want to see him fight guys that are good. I hate that the entire Pitbull's career is completely wasted. We'll never see Patricio in the UFC, and if he does eventually get there in 2 years, he'll be washed. I hate that. I want to see the best fight the best. The same reason I fucking hate live golf. I want to see the best players playing against best players. It's the same thing here, and I hate it. We're not getting a big tangent, but like, what if we would have had Gaethje and Chandler for an extra 6-7 years?
Yeah, I think I actually agree with you there, but I think they should be paid. And if they were paid properly in the UFC, you would have all of the top talent in the UFC Guys like AJ McKee are going to make millions of dollars to fight in Bellator, or Justin Gaethje just collected $1 million checks in PFL. There's a reason. I agree with you though. Like NFL players get paid the most. They all play again. They're the best. They get paid the most. They play in the best league. Maybe one day we'll see that.
Yep. And it's funny, like the PGA versus Lib thing. It's like the same argument as this, except the exact opposite. PGA players are already some of the most wealthy and paid athletes in the entire world, but Lib is paying them like $300 million to go play there with fucking terrorist money. Anyway, Zhang defeated Carla, submission, second round. Everyone saw it coming. No big deal. Let's move on. Middleweight division. Alex Pereira defeated Israel Adesanya. Adesanya up 3-1, going to the fifth, and gets fucking dead. I've never been happier to lose a bet in my entire life. I think I cheered when I lost that bet. I think I jumped up and went like this. I was so fucking happy. Adesanya, he did what he did. Like, a lot of people talk about his aggression and he was going to be more aggressive in this and all that. He wasn't. He's the same Adesanya. I think people have to understand, yes, he's technically gifted. And honestly, I'd probably pick him if they had a rematch. I'd probably pick him again. He got hurt in the end and he got caught and finished. But this is not an exciting fighter. This is a point fighter. That is who he is. That is what he is. He cannot be exciting. He just cannot do it. All the highlights they show from 10 years ago. That's just Adesanya. When he's at his best, he's point
10 years ago. What do you mean? Like, he's had some great
He's been
fights
in the UFC for like 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah, like the Paulo fight, the Gastelum fight, Whitaker, one of the Whitaker fights. Like, he's had some good. I thought this fight was good. I thought.
I know Lance is a hater. He's gonna think everything.
This fight was not good. First of all, so there was exciting moments in this fight. There was a few exciting moments. The very end of the first round, and then the finish. There was very few interesting moments in the second, the third, and the fourth round. It was mostly Adesanya being Adesanya, except he wrestled for a little bit. And if you look at Cannonier fight, boring. Whitaker fight, boring. Vettori fight, boring. Jan fight, he lost. Paulo fight, fighting a dumpster, he looked good there. Yoel fight, awful. Whitaker fight, he won by knockout. Like, you have to date back. Like, he hasn't really been exciting since he was fighting bums. And this is just who he is. He fights boring.
Whitaker and Costa are bums now.
And fucking Gastelum, who almost beat him. Gastelum almost beat him, brought like an insane performance out of him. That
was a great fight. And I think after that, it was after the Whitaker knockout. Like, the Yoel fight was bad. Then he had Costa, which I think that was his overmatched. Since that Costa fight, every single fight he's had has been bad. Every single one.
Look,
5 fights in a row now.
To you.
I will say.
Adesanya's talking about how boring he is. I'm going to be exciting this time. Just kidding.
Look, he is what he is, and he's not going to put himself. I mean, he's a superior fucking technical striker than any of these dudes. He's not going to put himself in like these wars just to make people like think he's exciting and shit. I thought this was an okay fight. It played out pretty much how I thought it would. I thought Pereira had to do that to win the fight. I didn't think it would take until, that long, but, props to Izzy, props to Pereira, props to our boy fucking Glover, who gets his first world champion out of the garage and gave like the corner speech after the fourth round was an all timer. Great to watch. I've watched it multiple times. But all that, even Colin Pereira here, I think our boy Mason released a rematch line of Izzy down at like -150 this time. I tell you what, if Izzy was anything lower than that, -140 or something like that, I would be on Izzy in the rematch. I think that he dominated almost every minute of that fight. And, I thought Pereira was going to have to land one to get it, but I didn't think it would be that hard for him to land on Izzy. It was like it took Izzy making a slight mistake in that fourth round.
Pereira,
you're in the fifth round. Pereira only needs one. It's always going to be like
scary
that.
Part.
I just, with that kind of price though, like if you're giving me Pereira upwards of +175 and stuff, that's different. If the fight's going to be closer to, an even price fight, got to take the way more skilled guy. Izzy's absolutely more skilled than Pereira, but glad to get that one right. Happy for Glover, man. Hopefully Glover gets his belt back.
The fight sucked though. If let's say the ending doesn't happen. Let's say the 5th round is Adesanya circling, jabbing, leg kick, stuff like that. Do you say it's a good fight?
I mean, I don't know. We're different. I enjoy like kickboxing and shit though and stuff. So I enjoy boxing a lot more than most MMA fans. So I can watch a
boring.
I mean, you say that, but also if he would have finished him in the first round, it would have been an awesome knockout to add on to the list. And he almost fucking did it. So
Exciting.
Pereira,
I mean, you thought Adesanya was -800. You should have been -800. So we can't really take too much.
Well, I always talk like that. I say lots of things.
let's just say that Pereira is a fucking can knock out any fucking body in that division, or could be taken down by somebody and probably fucking worked over. Like Chimaev should be like begging. You want to give Chimaev a belt like right now? Make that fight tomorrow. And Chimaev is he's a champ.
It's funny. Aaron was arguing with people. Bronster was arguing with people on Twitter and stuff and this. And he said something like, yeah, but the first grappler that beats him or fights him will beat him. And it's like, yeah.
Probably. That's where my money would be.
And he got this big Twitter battle that felt bad for him, but it's like, yeah, I mean, if I look at this middleweight division, like, fuck, even some guys like, you tell me if, like, fucking a guy like Usman, like, can go, like, he'll out-grapple him. Like, there's guys at 170, there's guys at 185. Like, there's a bunch of guys that can just out-grapple this man. Like, he can't, and him stopping an Adesanya takedown just doesn't fucking impress me. Like, give me a break. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Wild comeback. Just one more thing. Like 2022, we've had 3 5th-round comebacks in title fights.
The challenger won all of them, right? It was Leon Edwards, this one, and what was the other one?
What's the other one? I thought there was a third. Oh, I guess the
Yuri. Third. It was Yuri.
Oh, Yuri, yeah, because Glover was up.
So 3 belts changed hands when the guy with the belt was gonna win
on the way to winning,
dominating too. Not even like I guess Yuri Glover was probably the closest one, but Glover was still like way up in that fight.
If Glover survives, he wins on the scorecards. That's all he had to do is survive the 5th round, and that's the same as all those other guys, and they lost. How fucking wild is that?
I mean, how great the UFC is right now, with the champions and titles and stuff. There is only one division right now that I would say has a dominant champion. Like, there's not a single division outside of featherweight where I would be surprised if 4 months from now the guy's not holding the belt. You couldn't say that even 6 months ago. Like with Adesanya, with Usman, with Dubronx. Like, now there's so many guys that like are holding belts that could lose, and we'd be like, okay, all the dominant. It's
all
changing of the card.
Like Usman fights Edwards tomorrow. Usman's, like a lot of these dudes. A lot of them.
It's kind of all, and even Makhachev. Yeah, I know he took very impressive. He beat Dubronx, who still looks fucking un-Dubronx like. But like, would you even if he fights a guy? I don't know any of these fucking guys with the power they have and stuff. Like, he fights a Chandler. You tell me Chandler, like, he's not obviously with the loss, but like someone like Poirier or Chandler, like someone could catch this guy. Like, it wouldn't shock you if any of these fucking guys lost at this point, which is great for fans. But anyway, let's move on to the Fight Night card. We took more time doing recaps than we ever have.
That's fine though, because we are gonna rip through this, especially the first like 6 fights.
Wes.
Oh, I got some that I don't have shit to say, so we're good.
Shaun was giving me shit about talking too much in the recaps and early on and stuff on shows, and I go, yeah, but I give 10-second breakdowns, so it evens out. All right, let's start in the women's flyweight division. Natalia Silva versus Teresa Bieda. You, Shaun?
They're both terrible. I will actually take the favorite in Toutmaster, but no chance in hell I would be betting her.
All right, Wes?
Yeah, fuck this fight. I'm taking the dog and Toutmaster.
Likes the check.
Doesn't go the distance. I'm betting this fight.
Fucking wild.
I'm betting a kickoff women's fight. So the doesn't go, is plus 150. Silva wins by sub in the first round most of her fights. She has 10 finishes in her 13 wins, and also she quits. She's a big quitter. She's quit in 3 of her fights, gotten finished there. And this other chick has finished a good chunk of her fights and has those arm bars and stuff. Between them, they have like 10 fucking arm bars. This is going to be a women's MMA finish. Doesn't go the distance, plus 150. No idea who these chicks are. I've been betting some women's unders, and women's doesn't go the last 3 or 4 months. It's working out. Arm bars from guard changes things. So I will be betting this. Doesn't go the distance. All right. Bantamweight division, Brady Hailstand versus Fernie Garcia. These guys suck. You got to skip the first hour and a half of this card.
I might have to leave
You,
the
Shaun?
show.
I know. I'm sorry, Wes.
Did you lose?
Yeah.
Dude, we lost to...
Out.
Is it over?
Yeah.
We lost to Stetson, Troy.
You're
and
down
UCF.
bad. You're down bad. Maybe this would be the push you need to get fucking fuckface out of there.
Dude, it's November 15th, and we're eliminated from the NCAA tournament.
Like I know that dude can recruit from time to time, but
Can't coach.
goddamn, he's just
Great
can't
recruit.
coach.
Well,
Yeah.
also, our guy who was supposed to be our best player and our best recruit got suspended for the NCAA for someone buying a flight for him when he was a junior in college. He lives in Spain, and he was told it was okay. So they bought a flight for him, and they said it was fine. And then they go, actually, it might not be fine. So his mom repaid the money, and the NCAA was like, you're suspended a year.
Yeah,
When they have NIL.
the NCAA should be shut down. Like they shouldn't even exist at this point.
So anyway, we suck ass. All right, new Shaun, Brady.
I got nothing on this fight. Both these guys have lost to very, very low level fighters. So I guess I'll pick the dog and tout master. This is another terrible fight that you should not care about.
Wesley.
Yeah, but you know me, I've already skipped.
Here we
that
go.
fight, so I think his stand is just kind of bad. Like I watched him on Tough. He trains with some decent dudes with Kies and stuff out in the Pacific Northwest, but I just, losing to Tercios like that, who we'll talk about later, I think it's just absolutely horrible. Look, Fernie's going to come forward, is going to put the pressure on. I think if he can keep this up on the feet, he's got a pretty good chance of taking some rounds on his stand here. His stand has got some okay, I wouldn't say submissions, but grappling and stuff. His wrestling isn't good. That's why I think this stays on the feet, and Fernie just wins this on output. I think it's plus 135 out there right now. I'm probably going to take a very small shot on Garcia. Definitely the pick for me.
I'm not going to bet this fight, but I side with Wes's reasoning. If you lose to Ricky Tercios, you're probably not very good. And I don't know much about Fernando Garcia, but I've seen High-Stamp fight a few times. He's not very good. Not to get started the card, but I get taking the plus money here. I'll probably pick Garcia in Toutmaster, which I think I'm like top 5 right now because of my women's MMA prowess. Just I didn't check. I haven't checked since the last fight, which I got wrong with Adesanya, but I was like top 5, so maybe we'll see. But yeah, I don't blame you, Wes, but I'm going to pass on this one because nope. All right, then we got the women's strawweight division. Vanessa Demopoulos, she's the stripper, right? Is that right? Yep. Yeah. Versus Maria Oliveira. Fucking what a start to this card! Just absolute bangers.
Banger after banger, baby.
Wes, have you booked your hotel for Vegas yet?
No, not yet.
Get in there. Circa fills up quick, man. Do you have the dates?
Know. Yeah, I know. I got the dates and everything. Yeah.
Sweet, get in
terrible
there.
low-level women's fight. Probably going to be close. I'll take the dog, who is Demopoulos right now.
Sweet. Fun fight. Wesley?
Yeah, horrible fight. Got nothing. I'll take the dog in as a pick.
It's basically like a pick 'em now, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I looked at this one. It didn't fit my women's under plays I've been making, so it's going to be a pass for me. I'll take the I guess I'll take the stripper. She's got some dog in her. All right, maybe literally like bestiality.
Ooh.
No.
That might be like top 10 OnlyFans type material though. knowing these sick fucks out there these days.
The OnlyFans thing is weird. Like, I always fuck around on TikTok and I just scroll around because TikTok's fucking hilarious. I always thought it was just dancing, but it's like the funniest thing ever. So I like scrolling through the TikTok, and like this thing will come on. There'll be like this average looking lady, and she'll be like, "I'm top 0.01% of OnlyFans," and I'm like, "This average looking chick's making like $1 million a year." Like what? I don't understand.
It's the interaction, bro. It's the interaction.
Porn is free. I don't get
but
it.
You can't have the interaction. They're just weirdos, bro. There's some weirdos out there.
Interaction is the last thing I want.
Yeah, I don't want to know anything about you. Let me get my business done and get the fuck out of here.
Interaction is pretty far down the list.
Oh shit.
Hank Damascus is coming for Vegas too, Wes.
I mean, that's like a given usually.
Yeah.
Whether it be fucking 6 hours or a couple days.
He's going to be there, he said, because it's Bachelor. Shaun, you can come even though you don't really know my brother very well, but feel free.
Can't.
All right. Can't. It's March. You know where we're going. All right.
No.
Ricky Tercios. Kevin the TV Dodd. Shaun?
Another terrible fight. Speaking of Ricky Tercios, the guy that lost to him, that's very bad. Ricky Tercios is very bad. Natividad is very bad as well. Tercios is probably a little bit better, so I'll pick him. But these are horrible fights to start this card.
Yeah, Wes.
Yeah, I think Tercios is one of those dudes that just does a lot of like unnecessary movements and just dumb shit. It's a bunch of shit that doesn't look good to judges, though. It's not like any kind of forward stuff where he's throwing punches. I just don't think he's good, man. And he's a fave against our boy Felice Navidad here. I know he's not great, but he's fought like the way better competition at this point. And I don't think he's too bad. I'm probably gonna put a little bet on him. I just can't see Ricky Tercios being a fave to any dude on the UFC roster. So if I do it, it's a small bet, but definitely a pick on our boy Felice Navidad here.
Yeah, same kind of thought process. The other fight, I don't blame fading Ricky Tercios here. He's not very good, but I've kind of learned my lesson on Natividad. He's coming out of LFA. I think we had some higher hopes for this guy. I know I bet him in his debut versus Miles Johns, and I thought he would bring something there. He didn't. He got knocked out quick in his next fight, and I thought his striking would carry over a little bit more, but it hasn't. Tercios is really bad. I think this is going to be him trying to get some takedowns as well. I don't know if he can get him. If this fight stays in the feet, then I do think that Natividad has a decent chance here. Tercios is so fucking sloppy with his striking, but I can't trust Natividad here. So it is going to be a pass. Let's now move to the bantamweight division as we have Vince Morales taking on Miles Johns. Shaun.
It's interesting to see like all these fighters have fought like other fighters on this card, or they're just trying
It used to happen like that a lot. Like back in the day, like because they all got kind of their fights scheduled in those kind of 3 months or so. We used to see that a whole lot more.
We did. The funny thing is all these guys are terrible.
Yeah, so these are all bums that are fighting each other.
It's like the opposite of their Grand Prix.
Yeah,
like all the city guys.
I think Miles Johns wins here. He probably can get some takedowns. Morales' takedown defense isn't great, but coming off that finish, I didn't think he looked great there against a guy that's not the greatest. So no bet here, but I think Johns has got enough to get the win.
Wes?
Yeah, I just think Miles Johns is just the little better, the slightly better guy here, just everywhere. If this gets to the mat, I think Johns' wrestling and grappling is a little bit better than Morales. Johns it's got some decent length on the feet, uses it kind of well. I just think he's a slightly better guy here. The price feels a little low to me, at like around minus 150 at some spots now. It kind of feels like a more minus 220 kind of price to me. It's almost, I'll probably have to put a Johns in something small. I was looking at the under as well. I think these dudes could get to brawling, and Johns, he finishes a lot of dudes, or he gets finished. So the under is plus money right now. I might look at that, but I just feel like Johns at like around minus 150 is just a little short in the spot. I think he's slightly better everywhere than Morales.
Yeah, I like Johns here. I was confused about this line. This seemed at least a minus 250 to me. Just kind of when I went in. 'Cause usually, what I'll do before I look at lines, because I don't look ahead very often on betting lines. I'll look at the card. I'll kind of put in my head what I think lines are going to be, and then I'll jump over. And this is one of the ones that kind of stuck out to me. Johns is, I think he's the cleaner boxer. I think when you throw kicks in, it can get a little interesting against Morales with his length and stuff like that. But I think Miles Johns definitely has the cleaner boxing. But I think it's also the grappling. I think if anyone's going to be able to get this fight to the ground and work some takedowns, I think it's Miles Johns. But I think he just has crisper striking and a little bit better boxing. And I think he can lean on the takedowns if he needs them. So I do like Miles Johns a good bit. If it comes down a little bit further, I might play this straight. But as of now, I'm probably going to be throwing this in a parlay with someone else. All right. Women's flyweight, Jennifer Maia, Marnie Morose, armbar from guard, new Shaun.
I don't know if that'll happen because
it can always happen.
It can always happen. The problem here is I think the lady that's more likely to get the finish is probably going to have the better grappling and taking down the other one. But it's women's MMA. She could always end up on bottom and then it's armbar from guard. It's definitely possible. Morose's wrestling is looked pretty improved the last couple fights training at ATT. I think she can get Jennifer Maia down, and then maybe we'll see some classic armbar from guard somehow. I think regardless, Morose is going to win here. I just don't like laying close to 2-1 on lower level ladies.
I get it. Are you going to, Wes?
I mean, I do like Morose here as well. I think she should win this fight fairly easily, but man, it's just hard to lay minus 175 on in a chick fight. Her inside the distance is like plus 400. So if you think
submission 600,
submission 6, that's not horrible if you want something on this. But I think Morose rolls here. I like her as a pick. I don't know if she gets a finish. I can't lay minus 175, so it's probably just a pass.
Yeah, same thought. I can't wait. This doesn't seem like the armbar one. I don't like finishing this one at all. Maia's pretty tough. She's not easy to finish, and Morose is pretty sloppy. I don't know how people are laying minus 175 or so on Morose here. And I think Maia is a little bit washed. She's getting older, but she's tough, and Morose is just not someone you could trust. So I will be passing on this one, but I'll be taking Morose. All right, next up, flyweight division, Charles Johnson, Zhalgas Zhumulugov. New Shaun.
It's a tough watch from old Charles Johnson last time out. Just could not get the Mukaev off of him. I guess that's kind of
wild. That dude's wild though.
It's. I think that's a credit to just Mukaev's stickiness and just being able to hold on to people and just get it grappling. I think Johnson did a pretty good job, all things considered. He did fight the takedowns for a long, long time, and there's a lot of guys that wouldn't have got that far. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit in a loss where he kind of got dominated, but from what we've seen with him on the regional scene, the guy has got skills, and in this fight, I don't think he's going to have to worry about getting taken down a million times. I think he kind of tunes up Zhumulugov, so I put Johnson in a 1-unit parlay.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't think you're giving him too much credit, like, at all.
It's just tough because sometimes we do that. Guys look good in a loss, and we're like, oh, okay, and then the next time out, and then he just isn't what he is.
That's happened recently. One big time. Who was it? What am I thinking of?
A couple times.
It was a small guy recently who fought really tough. And
we all bet him. Yeah, we all bet him. I can't remember.
It was a little guy. Who was it? I think it was a flyweight. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember us doing it. I can't remember the guy, though.
He lost like 3 straight.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
with
take that.
I think with Johnson though, you have some really good previous stuff before
Yeah.
that also, to where he's fighting some of the better dudes down on the regional scene and he's sparking them. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about getting taken down here against Zumagulov, and I think he's gonna piece him up on the feet. Zumagulov is just he's getting a little older. He hasn't looked great recently. He's in these tough fights against just bad dudes. I know he fought Kape, got stopped. So I think this line just seems low to me, man. Like minus 155. Seems really low to me. I like Johnson quite a bit in this spot at that price. I'm gonna watch the line and see if it comes down for a straight bet, but there is a couple pieces on this card that you could put him with them. I'm sure I'll talk about a couple of them later, but I like Johnson quite a bit in this spot.
Now I got to figure out who I'm thinking of. Someone help me.
I can't remember.
Can do it.
My memory's fucking horrible nowadays. I'm old.
I'm great, but I'm bad with names. All right, yeah. I like Charles Johnson here a good bit. Zumagulov is not good. He's not good at all. I think some people thought he was better than he was kind of coming in. All this guy does is lose. He just loses. And, even someone like Jeff Molina, who I know he's undefeated in the UFC, he's trash. That guy is garbage can. He is not good, so please don't credit that as a good win. So, yeah, I like Charles Johnson here. I'll be taking him in a parlay. Now I got to – hold on. I lost my place. I've been frantically searching for what I was talking about. God, who was it?
Not going to happen, Lance.
I know. I'm never going to think about it. All right, let's move to the main card. Welterweight division, Jack Della Maddalena versus Danny Roberts. New Shaun.
This should be destruction. Maddalena's got very good striking. Danny Chocolate is chinny. I know he hasn't really got dropped much lately, but that chin, he seems to get rocked in almost every fight. So I really expect Maddalena to just put it on him. Roberts doesn't have amazing wrestling, so I think Maddalena will be able to stuff it, and then it's very bad news. So I chalked it up. I put Maddalena with Johnson plus 103 for a unit. I also put Maddalena with Umar Nurmagomedov and Bellator. Those are just two absolute chalky picks. It's minus 202, but I played it to win a unit. And then I put him in one more parlay in the main event.
Wes?
Yeah, Shaun's got you can't like sneak in those fucking English accent shit on me. I think old Jack Della is gonna fucking smoke Danny Roberts. Absolutely smoking. This dude's good. Like I think this dude's really good. This is gonna be a decent test for him. Like Danny Roberts is no bum. I just think this guy's that good. I did already put him with Johnson. I did that earlier. I forgot about that. I think this is about the safest spot on this card. I know the price is getting a little out of hand now, but I think he smokes Danny Roberts. Him by KO is like minus 175 inside the distance, around minus 200. So I think he gets Roberts out of there.
Same, yeah. I have this one earmarked as a parlay as well. I was looking at Johns and Maddalena, something like that, to get the Johns price down. If it doesn't go down in itself, I think this is an easy one for him. I don't think Danny Roberts is going to have much for him. I think this is kind of a setup fight in the main card to kind of take him to the next level, and I think he's there. I think after this fight, it's time for a pretty good step up for him. The kid looks like he's got the goods, and we'll see. All right, welterweight division, Andre Filo versus Muslim Salikov. You, Shaun.
I think Fialo is a fraud. After that Pereira fight, I faded him against Baeza, lost that. Threw a dart on Van Camp, of course, lost that because Van Camp is absolutely atrocious.
Maybe you're
for some reason. And then for some reason, I didn't bet Matthews like you guys did in that fight. I was like, I kind of want. I don't like Matthews. I want some more plus money. It wasn't really there, and then of course he gets smashed. I just like against a very clean striker in Salikov, I think you're going to see a pretty big difference. Fiallo's got big power, and he could crack Salikov, but when it comes to clean striking, I think it's going to be Salikov landing much more. And I mean, I know he got knocked out by Zhang Lang last time out. Zhang Lang looked unreal in that fight, and we know he's got big power. Fiallo has good power too, but I just think Salikov's the better overall striker. It's going to be cleaner, and hopefully he can dodge that knockout, and then Fiallo's going to gas. So I took Salikov at -110 for a unit.
Yeah, Salikov is 38 fucking years old at this point. Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild.
Not ideal.
Yeah, look, I mean, Jake Matthews looked like fucking prime fucking Manny Pacquiao out there last time against our boy Fial here. I just think Salikov is getting old, man, and Zhang Lang made him look really old. Like Shaun's right with like. Dude's always been a clean striker, but he looks slower. Those spinning kicks and shit looked real slow, and Zhang Lang ate him up. I think Fial can do the same thing here, and I just think Fial hits like a truck. I think he's going to be able to connect a couple, and I think one is gonna spark Salikov. I do like a bet on Fial here. I really like the under. Like Fial, he do or dies, man. Period. Yeah. Like he's either knocking you out or he's going out on his shield in the second. I think that under 2.5 is like -130 at one spot. I think it's Caesars right now. It's not widely released yet everywhere, but I'll definitely be on that under. And I like Fial here. I think he gets Salikov out of there. I think Salikov's just getting old, getting slow. The younger dude hits a little bit harder. He's gonna win this fight.
Yeah, I like Fial here. I think he's gonna be a little too fast. I think Salikov is. I mean, he's 38 and he looks it. He's lost the. I don't think he was ever the fastest striker, but he's lost some of that speed. He just looks slow to get his hands up. He looks slow with the punches. And with Fial, he's going to get in your fucking face. He is going to get in your face and he's going to throw. I don't think Salikov has the chin at his age, and I don't think he has the speed to contend in the pocket. And I just think at basically a pick-em price, I think Fial is kind of a must-bet for me here. So I do like Andre Fial, and I did talk to my Jew friend before the show. Munich.
That'd be a brother.
So this is Munich. After last week's loss, it moves to 1,062-3. So Munich stays hot. Munich stays hot. All right. Let's move on now to awful heavyweight. Chase Sherman. Waldo Cortez Acosta. New Shaun.
We already broke down this fight 3 weeks ago, so I'm not really going to talk too much. I took the over 1.5 in that one. I got over 1.5, -125 for a unit. This is going to get sloppy. I think Sherman can survive the first 7.5 minutes, and then who knows what happens. I'll probably still pick Acosta.
Yeah, this is an over written all over it. These dudes are going to get sloppy. This Waldo cat is fucking horrible too. I mean, he couldn't finish shit. I kind of lean Sherman in this fight. I'll probably pick Sherman in a pick, but there's no way I want any money on a side in this fight. But I think this gets really slow and sloppy fast, and I like the over.
Yeah, I think Waldo can get a takedown here on old Sherman and kind of just lay on top of him, take a quick nap, maybe finish him. I don't know. Sherman doesn't beat a lot of guys. Like, you got to be like a next level ton of shit to lose to Chase Sherman. And I don't think Waldo is good or anything, but he's better than what Sherman usually beats. And I think on the feet he can kind of do what he wants and survive. I think he's the better striker. I think he's got to watch out just for the power of Sherman. And I think he can get this fight to the ground and beat him up on the ground. We've seen when people take Sherman down, that's kind of a wrap here. And what's the price that it was pretty low considering it was a Chase Sherman fight, minus 190. That actually seems pretty low to me for a guy who can even think about shooting a takedown versus Chase Sherman. So I actually kind of like Waldo here. I bet him in his last fight. I might bet him again. I might throw him in a little parlay. I don't know. I don't hate Waldo here. I mean, if you just faded Chase Sherman every fight of his life, you'd be looking pretty good.
You remember Waldo's last fight? It just happened not long ago.
He won all 3 rounds.
Man, he looked he looked bad though, bro.
He won all 3 rounds.
Again, looking fucking rough against the old Bandera man. Like, shoo.
Hey,
You got it done.
Hey, he won all 3 rounds, right? It's all that matters. All that matters.
I was having trouble finding another piece to this other parlay I liked with old Charles Johnson. It's not definite yet, but Waldo here. All right, let's move up. Co-main event: Ian Kulaba versus Kenny Nunchucks. You, Shaun.
Yeah, Cute Labia's had kind of a rough stretch.
Little bit.
Getting choked out by Johnny Walker and Ryan Spann back-to-back.
Nailed that one though.
That's a tough one. In this matchup, like, I think this is going to be a decently close fight. Like, I think Cute Labia can get some takedowns. He's kind of turned into a bit of a grappler, even though he got choked out twice in the last 2 fights. But Kenny Nunchucks has not fought any or barely any people with any sense of grappling. So I know he has high takedown defense, but that doesn't really mean shit when you don't really fight anybody that's good when it comes to the grappling portion. And on the feet, Culabia's got some power. So plus 150, I had to take a shot just for a unit. I think, man, he can catch him on the feet, or he can implement a grappling game and get Kenny Nunchucks tired. So he's got some pass here.
Wes?
Yeah, I think that the OQ Labia is going to get takedowns here, and he's going to drop hammers on fucking Kenny Nunchucks, and that's what's going to happen, and that's what I hope happens. Like, I think Cute Labia can bang and stuff on the feet, but I think that's going to be his hardest path to victory, is standing on the feet with a dude that's really long and can use his reach well. But Kenny Nunchucks, he couldn't fucking stop Lance's takedown. Cute Labia's got some really good takedowns, insane ground and pound. So yeah, I think he can get takedowns here. He can get some ground and pound. And I haven't checked if this is right, because I'm not signing into my shit. But on Best Fight Odds, it's got Cute Labia by TKO at plus 400 at Bet Online. That's stupid. Like that is
now.
That's madness. Like, Cute Labia by TKO plus 400 against Kenny. Like, that's probably how he wins if he wins. I'll take some plus 150, but I'm absolutely going to take some of that plus 400 on Cute Labia TKO.
I like him here. I like Cute Labia a good bit here. I think on the feet, I think he's the much harder striker, a lot more power. He creates more fear into his opponents. Kenny Nunchucks he's a long guy who doesn't really seem to know how to fight. He's got that tall guy defense. He's been trying to learn how to wrestle lately. I don't know. Remember we talked earlier about that guy that got absolutely murdered the other day? Didn't Kenny Nunchucks lose to that fella? Right? What was his name? The guy that fought the other day. Nikolai Nurgarubra.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and little Nicky Negreanu. Yeah.
Like, that was this year that dude beat him, and then he also lost to the Unhung. I mean, a man with his stature and skin color losing to the Unhung?
Not good.
That ain't right. So Kudalabia seems like just a must play here. What is it at? Like plus 135?
Plus 150.
Plus 150.
155.
That is an awful. Sometimes you gotta throw hog analysis out the window. Just go with the smart play. I would not be surprised if he's taking Kenny Nunchucks down here early and just beating the shit out of him on the ground as well.
That's what's gonna happen. I
I think he's going to pick up that stupid tall motherfucker and throw him on his head and beat him up. So that will be the consensus bet of the week. Cute labia, plus 150 now. So that is a play. That is probably my favorite bet on the card, to tell you the truth. I really like it. That line doesn't make any sense to me. Speaking of hogs, we move to the main event. Heavyweight division. Derrick the Black Beast, the originator of the hog, Derrick Lewis, taking on Sergey Spivac. You, Shaun.
I just assumed your favorite bet would be on this fight, but I guess not.
What's Sergey ranked? What is he ranked?
You want to actually know what he's ranked?
He's top 5, right?
Is he?
Right? He's right there. He's right there.
He is number... No, he's not. He is number 12.
What?
12 today.
What?
Somehow
Black
he is
Beast
ranked
ever
12.
lost somebody? Has he ever lost to somebody ranked 12?
I mean, he lost to Pavlovich. He was not ranked in the top 5.
All right. Well, you know, what is Pavlovich's rank?
He is 5 now.
5. What is Tai Tuivasa's rank? What is Tai Tuivasa?
Tuivasa was ranked like 12th when they fought, but now he's 4. Well, yeah, when you beat him...
4? Huh. What is
When you
Ciro
beat-
Gane rank?
You're changing the fucking
Yeah,
rules. It
no.
was top 5 before the fights, not after the fights.
Of
After
the
he
current
loses.
top 5, he has only lost the top 5 guys. Now, when he loses to them, maybe we didn't know they were top 5. Sergey Spivac is clearly not going to be top 5, either he beats them or not.
He is going to be top 5, and he is going to be.
He's going to jump Sergey or Tuivasa or Blades or Stipe or Gane. No, he's not top 5. You can't get there.
Regardless, he's gonna beat the Black Beast. The luck has run out. Spivak is gonna be able to take him down and smash him on the ground. It's heavyweight. It's Black Beast. Shit can get landed. That is always the case. That's why I'm not going big on it. I just have one unit on Spivak and Madalena together at minus 112. A unit. I think the luck has ran out. Black Beast is being a little more chinny than what he used to be, and
that was a pathetic, disgusting, awful.
It was.
Don't put yourself in that.
You realize
yes. That was an awful performance.
You realize how mad this man is right now after that performance in front of his hometown.
Don't care.
He doesn't care.
This dude
bro.
shows up for a paycheck.
That was a bottom 5 performance. You got it. Bottom 5 stoppage. That was such a bad stoppage. I had no words. This is a dead fucking man walking.
It was bad, but he was about to get hammered.
He was about to get murdered.
He was about to grab that single leg and work on some of that D1 wrestling.
Fuck out of here. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah, look, it's still always Black Beast and shit can happen, but I just think Shaun's right. Like, he's getting old, man. This guy shows up for a check at this point. Like, I don't think Derrick Lewis really gave a fuck about this shit much anyway, just to cash checks. He really seems like he's in that mode now. I think Spivak is going to get takedowns here. Like, Derrick Lewis has never been able to stop a takedown anyway, even when he was fucking on his shit. He just now doesn't get up from him. He used to get up from him and knock you out. Now he just doesn't. I think he gets taken down.
He never even fell down.
Well, I mean, that's even worse, though, is now, dude, you're staying on the feet with him in prolonged fucking instances. But he was getting hit. Like,
he was not fine. He was about to get.
And I mean, like, I rank him way up there with dudes who hate getting fucking hit. Like, that dude will turn his back and shit. Like,
getting hit. What are you, a madman?
He's gonna get taken down here, and Spivak's gonna stop. Look, outside of all the Derrick Lewis stuff, I think Spivak's good. I think that guy's turned into a really good heavyweight fighter. I think he can get a takedown here, and he's gonna drop shit on Derrick Lewis, and Derrick Lewis is gonna get out of there. Like, Derrick Lewis is a smart dude too. I'll give him that. He ain't gonna take a bunch of bullshit. He's gonna get out of there. I like Spivak. I like him for a parlay piece. I like Spivak by TKO as well. I think that's like plus 165. So, yeah.
Spivak is defeated versus ranked opponents. Never beat one. He faced 3 of them. Nope. 0-3. Sucks. His best win ever, Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy's his best win ever. Is that he's his best? That's his best win. This is Derrick fucking Lewis. And how can people who created Hog Analysis pick
Hog
a man
Analysis before Derrick Lewis?
Pick a man so white they call him the polar bear versus a man named the Black Beast. This is legit. The blackest dude in the UFC versus the whitest guy in the UFC. And you're giving me plus 200 on Inside the Distance. This is a must bet.
You're betting that every time, regardless. And then he could be fighting a purple fucking alien. You're betting Derrick Lewis inside plus 200 every time.
What do you think I'm up betting Derrick Lewis Inside the Distance?
A lot.
$1 million?
I would keep betting it too.
It's slowly dwindling after the Tuivasa and the
doesn't
fucking
dwindle that much when you're betting dogs. I mean, fuck, how much did I win off the Curtis Blades knockout? Right there, that was like, fuck, was it plus 400?
I'm trying to get some of mine back. I'm trying to get some of mine back now.
Yeah.
You're going the wrong direction.
Hey, I hit a Derrick Lewis fight not long ago. I think his last win. I hit Derrick Lewis in that fight.
I mean, that fight wasn't even a year ago. You guys are acting like this man quit and he doesn't give a shit and all this stuff. The Tai Tuivasa fight, he fought his fucking ass off and he lost. He lost the fight. He hurt Tai. He lost the fight. And then it was a bad stoppage in 30 seconds versus Sergey. Like, Derrick Lewis, I don't think he has championship mentality anymore.
No, he doesn't.
This man wants to kill people. He wants to hurt him. He wants to knock him out. And I think, I don't know, there's something about some guys also freeze up when they fight a guy like Derrick Lewis. Spivak has never fought someone like Derrick Lewis who can hit like that, who has his credentials. This is the biggest fight of Spivak's life. This is the least biggest fight of Derrick Lewis's life. Sometimes a guy looks across the octagon and sees Derrick Lewis and says, fuck, this sucks. Chris Dawkins. That guy shit his pants just looking at the Black Beast. And we saw what happened. Plus 200. I'm taking it. Spivak, back of the line. Maybe hit a tanning bed. Do what you got to do. But that'll do it for this week. We really appreciate everyone listening. Brad should be back next week. He's visiting Boston College. I believe he's going to get his master's in psychology. I don't know. I think that's what people do. I think they get masters in psychology, and then they make $28,000 a year being a school teacher. I think that's something that people do. So he'll be back next week. We really appreciate everyone listening, and we do have a card next. Oh, are we off next week?
So Thompson Holland's on December 3rd. So yeah, we do have a week off. So we will see.
We will not see you next week. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving. World Cup starts on Sunday. Please watch the World Cup. It is the greatest sporting event that you can ever watch. Happens every 4 years. I know if you're an American, you probably don't. Maybe skip some of the U.S. games. It's not going to go great, but the World Cup is an event. You cannot beat it. It's as good as it gets. It starts Sunday, so watch the World Cup. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in a few weeks.